Daredevil Born Again Season 2 kicks off with a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Did it live up to the hype? Oh, yes, it did. It was a beast of an episode, packed with more punches than Alan Ritchson landed on his neighbor's face after liquid courage got him in some trouble last week. ICE is running airports. Erica Kirk is the only person that didn't find the Drewski skit at least a little bit funny. As LA Knight falls over barricades attempting a run-in, Randy listening to the voices in his head, RKOing Chelsea Green's husband after apologizing for attacking him. But the Usos still can't get an apology from CM Punk. So Jay then 6 Roman Reigns on Punk. Now people are saying Reigns is turning heel, but I'm going to tell you why there's no heel in this feud yet. In a week when Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Jay-Z, and J. Cole are all doing podcasts and interviews, people that never talk to anyone. We're talking about that and more as we get a step closer to Secret Wars. But first, we dive into Secret Invasion, the comic. After you read a comic, you'll understand why this comic was 83 million times better than that shitty-ass show on Disney+. Welcome to Mic Check. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. Appreciate y'all checking into Mic Check. We got a lot of shit to talk about today. I'm going to start off with somebody getting their motherfucking ass whooped for not minding their own motherfucking business. You know, I saw this clip of Alan Ritchson. Alan Ritchson is somebody who a lot of people want to play. They wanted to play Batman in the DCU. I'm thinking more of a Aquaman because he played Aquaman in Smallville. I think he looks the part. I think that's a great move. And also, he's got the look. We know he's got the look. He's played it before. He's a big dude. Could he play Batman? Sure. He's also in the show Reacher. I've not seen this, believe it or not, but I know a lot of you have. I know Adrian's a big fan of Reacher, and I know he's a badass motherfucker in Reacher. So there was a video that hit socials this past week of Alan Ritchson beating the shit out of his neighbor. And dude, it looks like a scene out of one of these movies, maybe even out of his show. He's riding a motorcycle. He's got a couple kids around him with motorbikes as well. And the video I saw has a neighbor. He's kind of like bent over, and Alan's just punching him in the head a few times. Literally just kind of like a good boxer, just kind of sitting back and taking his shots. Guy ends up on the ground. Pretty much gets his ass whooped. And you got to imagine the area that this guy lives is probably an affluent area. It's probably a little cul-de-sac somewhere. I would assume to live in this neighborhood, you probably got to have some money, right? But that doesn't escape you from some bitch-ass, pain-in-the-ass motherfucking neighbors that can't mind their own motherfucking business. So there was police were called here, and believe it or not, I wish I had the video here to show you. Believe it or not, Alan Ritchson, he was let off. He got off because it was self-defense. The neighbor actually put his hands on Alan Ritchson first. And if you see a picture, if you know what Alan looks like, and if you were to see his neighbor, you'd be surprised that this dude would decide to put his hands on Alan first. But I guess what happened, Alan, who's 43, by the way, he was riding his bike around the neighborhood, and this guy, he had some drinks in him. They did confirm that. This neighbor who had a little too much to drink, little liquid courage, little beer muscles, decided that I'm going to confront Alan because I don't like the way he's riding his bike through the neighborhood with his kids. He's minding his own business. Again, I don't know. I don't live there. I would assume it's probably a cul-de-sac somewhere. I doubt it's on some busy road where he's endangering, his kids or himself. And at the end of the day, it's him and his kids. If they're in danger, that's on him. It's none of your fucking business. But I guess this neighbor, I didn't see, there's 2 videos. The video I saw just starts with Alan punching this dude in the head. There's a video, I guess, that the neighbor put out that also shows the beginning of this conflict where he steps out in front of Alan's bike, causes Alan to drop the bike on the ground, and he gets in his face and actually pushes him. So then he gets his ass whooped because keep your fucking hands to yourself, bro. This is what the guy said, the neighbor. He says, I was only interested in the safety of my neighborhood because he was racing through the neighborhood. He's a Hollywood superstar, and I'm not. He's got lawyers. I didn't even lawyer up. And then they asked him, if he got any money. He said, not a fucking penny. And then he also asked about the why he dropped the charges. So they asked why he dropped the charges. He said, the police told me standing in front of him and his bike was enough to claim self-defense. He goes, I never took a swing at the guy. I pushed him. That's all I did. And I think that also has to do something with self-defense. Well, yeah, you fucking jackass. You put your hands on him. And, I saw this video, and I don't know, I'm sure you guys are the same way. I rushed to the comments, read a comment. So I wanted to see what people were saying about this. I rushed to the comments to see what motherfuckers were saying about this. And most people, I think, were kind of fell where I fell like, dude, if you keep your hands to yourself, none of this happens. Also, dude, Alan Ritchson, he's 6'5", like 250. Why are you going to try to fuck with him? This dude, you could tell my man ain't never been in a fight in his life. Why are you going to start with a guy who is 6'5", 250 pounds, and is a badass motherfucker? That's just stunts and shit he does on TV. I don't know, dude. I based on this video, I don't think it's just stunts and shit he does on TV. And there were some people in the comments, though, that were like, they were upset that this happened. Like, how is that a good example for his kids? How is beating up your neighbor over some dispute a good example for your children? And I would argue that I think that's a great example for your children, because what you're teaching your children here is if somebody puts their hands on you, even if it's a shove or a push, somebody puts their hands on you, defend yourself, but also defend yourself in a way that this shit don't ever happen again. Because I don't know all the ins and outs about the neighborhood, the person, what Alan and his kids are like. I don't know these motherfuckers. But I'd be willing to bet. Here I go, Adrian, but don't bet. I'd be willing to bet that Alan's neighbor ain't gonna put his hands on Alan ever a fucking again. That ain't happening. I don't think he's gonna be running out in front of no bikes anytime soon. I don't think he's gonna be complaining about the safety of his neighborhood. I think he's gonna be minding his own motherfucking goddamn fucking business. I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm a big fan of this, honestly. Leave people alone. And this whole you're going too fast with my neighbor. Bro, he's on a bike. If anyone's at danger, it's himself. I've never heard of somebody run someone over with a motorcycle. Never heard that. I've heard people lose control and hit other cars and be hit by cars. Alan's out with his kids, minding his business, riding the bike through the neighborhood. His kids are doing the same. And you got old boy over here fucking trying to be neighborhood watch of the motherfucking year, causing issues. He fucked around and found out. Don't go getting hyped up on your fucking beer muscles over here and go and try and attack Alan Ritchson. You go in and attack him. He just, pushed him. Okay, put your fucking hands on me, bro. Don't do it. And I know from experience, as someone who back in old high school days would be looking for a reason to fight, I would hope that you would push me or put your, I hoped because it'd give me a reason. Self-defense, that was always the rule. I would hope, go ahead, fucking touch me, bitch. This motherfucker fucked around and found out, so I am all about it. I think that's Alan being a good dad. It's kind of the theme today. There is a little bit of a theme on the podcast today. There's a theme. We're going to talk about fatherhood a little bit, okay? And I think, in my opinion, those of you that have kids, have sons, do you think Alan's being a hell of a fucking dad, teaching them by example, teaching them to stand up for himself, don't take no shit from no bitch-ass neighbor, and if somebody puts their hands on you, make sure they never fucking do it again. I'm down with it. In other news, I don't know if this guy's a dad, this next guy. It was a guy in Florida. Anytime you hear a Florida man make a headline, you're like, dude, I don't know if this is something that we could even talk about, but this one here it kind of ties into the whole AI talk. We talk about AI a lot, and people feel different ways. Some of y'all feel AI is replacing jobs. Some of them understand that it's just a tool. Now there will be some jobs that will be obsolete because of this. That's not lost on me. I think it's just the nature of the beast, dude. It's bound to happen. It's inevitable. You could argue, you could like it, you could love it, you could do nothing, whatever the fuck, but it's going to happen. Now, this instance here, in some areas, it might be good. And I have an example that I experienced this past week myself that normally what I did this week, I would have had to talk to a bunch of motherfuckers. And I was able to do what I did, and I'll get into that, and talk to absolutely no one. There's this guy in Florida, Robert Levine. He told NBC6 that he wanted to challenge himself to use AI for the entire process of selling his house in Cooper City, Florida. So he used ChatGPT. It walked him through planning, pricing, marketing. It guided him on when to start packing up his house, which rooms to repaint to get the most value, what day to list his home to get the most eyes on it. Within 72 hours, this dude says he had 5 offers on his house. The final sale, $954,000, took place 5 days after the house was listed. All using Chat motherfucking GPT. Also, you add motherfucking to anything, it just sounds better and cooler, in my opinion. So for him, this was a success. He avoided the commission fee that he would have to pay, a real estate agent. He also said that he sold the house for about $100K more than the agents had suggested. I think this is a good use. Now, I'm someone who I've been in sales for a long time to sell life insurance all over the tri-state area. I get sales. I understand that it is a part of everyday commerce. I mean, there's some products like a house, for example, where people believe they have to go through a salesperson to purchase. You really don't. Makes it easier sometimes, harder in other ways. Another thing that you can purchase with AI right now is a car. Now, I did this past week, and I don't know how much of it would be considered AI versus just computer tech, this, that. All I know is this. I bought a motherfucking vehicle. I traded in an old vehicle. I bought a new vehicle, and I ain't talked to no salesman. I didn't talk to no finance manager. I didn't fucking talk to nobody. I went online. Here, I'm going to plug something else that don't pay me. Matter of fact, I got to pay them. Carvana. I use motherfucking Carvana, and y'all should send this to them and tell them to pay us. But anyways, I'm also big on, if it works, I'll talk about it. I'm not, I highly recommend it. My wife's truck was having some issues getting up there in mileage, and it was time to replace it. And I honestly, with all the shit that I do between work and a full-time job, doing 3 podcasts, doing lives, my kids are in sports, it's been about over a month, probably close to 2 months that we've been needing to go get a car. And I just have not had the time to go to a dealership. Y'all all been there. Go to dealership. You go look around. The salesman all comes, hey, I can help you. Oh my God, what are you looking for? They start trying to close you right there. You're like, dude, I'm buying a car. Just relax. And also, there's a dozen dealerships. I don't know if this like this where y'all live, but where I live, everywhere you go, if there's one dealership, there's 8 more on that same road. And I'm someone that does my research. I know what I'm looking for. I know what my trade-in's worth. I know the different trims and mod. I know my shit. So the salesman just kind of gets in the way. Then you got to play this game of, let's see at the finance, what it comes back at. What are you going to put down? Oh my God, what's your rate? Well, you can't tell. You got to, my finance man, he's out right now. He's doing lunch. You got to wait. Oh my God, you want to test drive something else? Fucking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours goes by. I bought a motherfucking car on Carvana on Wednesday. It showed up to my house this morning. They picked up my old car. I put in all the information, said, here's what, they gave me an offer. I accepted it. I picked the car. Got my financing right there. I scheduled my delivery date. They called me. We're on the way with your car. They drop off my car. They take the old one. I didn't have to leave my motherfucking house except go outside to my driveway. It was so easy. So what does that have to do with this? What does that have to do with comics? Nothing. But the AI, the tech, it's going to replace certain jobs. And I would argue that some of these replacements might make it easier on the consumer. I don't ever want to go talk to a car salesman again. I don't. There's no reason to. You can go just buy. I bought it felt like shopping on Amazon. Literally was like, my filters, I'm looking for this year, this mileage. Boom, found this, all kinds of pictures. And you go, well, what about the test drive, Mike? My dad told me to always test drive a car before you buy it. Yeah, I heard that too. Now, unless you're a mechanic, what do you actually learn from a test drive? The other thing is, when the car gets delivered, you got 7 days to test drive it. If I drive this car around for the next week and realize something's fucking wrong with this, I call them up, they come pick it up, we start all over again. So AI is definitely going to replace jobs. People using AI is going to replace jobs. And how do I feel about it? It's inevitable. I also tend to worry about shit that I have control over. I don't have control over that. All I can do is learn how to use it to my advantage, use it to benefit me, use it and learn how to use it so that the things that I want to do, so I'm not replaced by someone else who knows how to use this motherfucker. So I'm down with it. I am definitely down with it. We're going to get into some wrestling shit, something that it can't replace. I don't think AI can replace WWE. I don't think it's going to replace Roman Reigns, CM Punk, the Usos, Brock Lesnar. I don't think it's going to replace all these motherfuckers. One person, though, I'd be okay with it replacing is LA Knight. Now, y'all know I'm not a big fan of LA Knight. That's being nice about it. I think he's overrated. I think his promos are not good. I think they're mid at best. It does sound like a wannabe Stone Cold, wannabe Rock, and he just botches way too much. And I'm not a pro wrestler. I understand it's difficult. I understand all the work that goes into it, and that's not lost on me. My issue is, if you have a guy who's not figured out how to master these things, doesn't mean he shouldn't be a wrestler. That's fine. But he shouldn't be on Raw, on SmackDown, on PLE. Like, that guy shouldn't be in that spot. That's my only thing. I don't have anything against the guy. I don't fucking know the guy. But I don't know if I've ever seen a promo of his where he doesn't fuck up, where he doesn't just forget his script. I don't know if that's ever been the case. I've seen plenty. Now, everybody botches. There's always mistakes and all. I get that. But I just feel like it's more consistent with this dude. He fucking fell over the barricade attempting a run-in this past week. Like, this motherfucker. Another one. That happened this past week. I believe it was on SmackDown. Something else happened on SmackDown was Randy attacking Chelsea Green's husband. He apologized, bring him out to the ring, then fucking RKOs him. And he's another guy I'm not crazy about. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona. What I think his biggest claim to fame is that he married Chelsea Green. I've never been interested in him as a character. It never connected with me. I mean, if you are big Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, have at it, bro. I don't see him doing anything in the WWE now that he's back. I really don't. But let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Raw is where the shit happens now. Like, SmackDown fucking has been mid as shit lately. Raw is where the action happens. Raw is where you got the Usos, you got Roman Reigns, you got CM Punk, you got Brock, you got Oba Femi, you got freaking AJ Lee, everybody's on Raw. It's funny that SmackDown's a 3-hour show, but everybody worth seeing to me is on Raw, except for maybe Randy Orton. We had another great in-ring segment with Brock and Oba Femi. Brock is selling this fucking match, dude. Holy shit. The whole coming out confident and you got lucky and this, and that. And then just to get his ass handed to him again by Oba Femi, the look of shock. Brock is a master at selling. Brock is selling the shit out of this match, and it's great to see. I initially, when I heard about this, I was like, Oba Femi's over. I get it. But Brock, this is where we're going right away. I felt like this was something that we need to build to a little more. But I'll tell you what, in 2 in-ring segments, Brock and Oba, because you got to give Oba Femi credit too, just coming out, that aura, just that whole, that the crowd getting in, people, they're pumping in noise. Bro, you could see all the little kids fucking dancing, doing this, whatever the fuck it is. He's over. And so is Brock. Brock always has been. A lot of people all, getting their feelings about this Janelle Grant thing. Like, dude, Vince sent him some weird fucking offer and he never accepted it, never signed it. He got caught up in some weird shit. Who knows? Was he going to be down? I don't fucking know. But all we know is it never amounted to anything. It was an offer that he didn't take. Can't judge somebody on what someone else offered them. Well, you could. You just be a fucking idiot. Even though Oba's looking strong as hell right now, I do not believe that he's winning this match. And I don't think he should, and I don't think he needs to. People, if Oba doesn't win, he's going to be buried. Dude's been in WWE for like 3 weeks, bro. Relax. Calm the fuck down. Nobody losing to Brock is buried. Nobody. Brock's a legend, dude. Brock ended the streak. Brock dismantled John Cena twice now. Nobody losing to Brock is buried. Reigns lost to Brock. He seems to be doing all right now, right? I mean, come on. Speaking of Reigns Punk. This feud is it jumped up a notch this past week. I'll say their in-ring segments have been really solid as well. They've done a great job. Their in-ring segments have been really good. Reigns this past week, you had the Jimmy J stuff versus Punk. And I'm a fan of it. There's some people thinking, well, Jay was in the main event. Now he's not. Okay. Bro, not everybody can be in the main event. People you want Reigns to be there. You want Punk to be there. You want Rollins to be there. You want Oba Femi to be there. You want CM Punk to be there. You want Cody to be there. That's 6 people, right? You want Drew to be there. That's 7. You want Jey Uso back in there. How about Sami Zayn? Why is he not there? How about this guy? You want 10 people in the title picture for 2 belts. That's what's funny about, this guy, he needs to be pushed. In order for him to be pushed up here, this guy who's up here can't be there. I think they got the right people in the title picture right now. I think we're good. I think Jay going back with Jimmy, being back in a bloodline is a good fit for him right now. You're not going to give him either title. You're not going to split him up and put him on SmackDown and have him win the belt there. And he's not winning this belt from Punk when Reigns is not. But there was an interesting moment here where Punk's talking his shit. They leave the ring, or they're leaving the ring, and Jay tells Reigns to basically get his ass. Go get that motherfucker. He's running his mouth too much. Reigns listens to Jay, and he runs over there, spears the shit out of Punk, power bombs through the table. We got to see a classic Reigns beatdown. We got to see the OTC, the motherfucking tribal chief, kicking some motherfucking ass, head of the table, whooping CM Punk's little non-going to the gym, drug-free bitch ass. It was great. Powerbomb through the table. I didn't like Punk laughing. I didn't like that. Like, bro, what, you think you're Rollins or something? You got polar opposites here. You got Brock who's selling like a fucking car salesman about to lose his job to AI, selling for Oba Femi, and you got Punk laughing. Now maybe that's part of the script. Maybe I don't know, but I don't like it. You should sell, bro. Look at you and look at Reigns. We're supposed to act like Reigns can't touch you. Like, Reigns is nothing to you. You're so much stronger and like, come on, dude. Knock this shit off. Reigns played football, like, in college, on the line. He's a big-ass dude, athletic motherfucker. You went to UFC for, like, 4 minutes and got knocked the flying fuck out. I'm just struck with, I understand people like him. I don't understand why they like him so much. I never did. And it's shit like this. Even though you're in a feud, you still got to put the other guy over. And Brock's been masterful at that. And you got Punk who's, and it's just like, oh, he needs help. Bro, he just whipped your, sell that shit. You should be acting like I'm shocked as a motherfucker. My torso is broken in half. He powerbombed me through the table. My back is broke. I'm an old man. I can't move. Instead, he's laughing. It's just the funniest thing in the world. I don't like it. Who's the heel? I don't know that there is a heel. And it's not Reigns. I know for a fact it's not Reigns. Here's why. The mid-Raw, the whole dad flex, you ain't gonna be a heel when you're flexing about how good of a dad. I'm sorry, you're not. I can't buy that you're a heel when your promo is about, yeah, I'm part-time, but I'm part-time because I'm there for my kids. I'm around my kids. Like the opposite of how his parents were, how his dad, he said, my dad was never around. He's talking to Jay and Jimmy. Your dad was never around, right? Rikishi's was never around. That thong-wearing fatty was out there fucking stink-facing motherfuckers left and right every goddamn week. He was never around. So Reigns' flex is that my kids are not going to grow up like that. Dad is in the picture. You don't cut a promo like that and become the heel. I don't think he can be the heel in this. I wish he was. I like heel Reigns, heel bloodline, but you're never going to fully be the heel acting like that. The other thing is, I don't know if WWE wants him as the heel. I think they're enjoying all this OTC merchandise sales and all the fans going, oh my God, the tribal chief is here. I think they're enjoying that a little too much. I don't know that they want to give that up. I feel like they might be falling into a little bit of the John Cena territory with Reigns where, hey, if we turn him heel, we're going to lose all this. Should be, it sounds like the right thing to do, but also he's almost too cool right now to be the heel. And Punk, even if you turn him heel, he's going to still try to be too cool, try to pander a little too much. I don't think he'll go full heel either. So is that needed? I don't know. I think it's always, a match is always better when there's a feud's always better when there's a clear-cut villain. But I don't know who the heel is. And the dad flex, dude, the dad flex is the ultimate flex. I kind of joked that the theme of this podcast today was about fatherhood. I saw 4 different interviews this week of people that never do interviews. And they all spoke to this either in the interview. Reigns, I think, was more in the promo, but Reigns was on a late night show talking about some of this stuff too. But Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar did a podcast with Barstool Sports. I've seen a handful of clips. I don't know if the full podcast is out yet, but I'm interested in that. And he talked about how being a father was his most important job, pretty much, in that podcast. J. Cole, Fall Off came out about a month ago. He's done a few interviews, this few podcasts. He did the one with Cam. He got on there, talked about why he was being sued. And in that, he talked a lot about his life as a dad, how important that is to him, how it's made it challenging to put out music because that comes first. And then Jay-Z. Jay-Z is someone who never does interviews. I can't tell you the last time I saw a Jay-Z interview. He did a GQ cover interview, the whole deal. And it was actually 2 interviews edited into one. It was pretty cool. And he talked about being a father in that as well and how that is, and I'm paraphrasing, but they all pretty much talked about how that is the most important job. And I thought it was great to hear as someone, y'all know, I mean, I talk about my personal life a little bit on Only Comics and on the live, but I'm a dad. I got 4 kids, and I do believe, and I know a lot of you are dads out there, and that is the most important job. That is way more important than making the albums, than being a wrestler, than doing podcasts, than going to work. Like, yeah, I got to do that shit to support, but the most important role that you play if you have kids is the role of a father. So I think it's, number one, it's cool that it was just random, I guess, that all 4 of these guys spoke to that this past week. Even Brock talked about, I want to see this full podcast. I saw some of the clips. So he talked about how gracious he is for the fans, how grateful he is to have fans. People always had this idea, Brock hates everyone. No, dude, he just, you worked yourself into a shoot, brother. But he talks about how he appreciates the shit out of having these fans, people that have followed him his whole career. But the one thing that is off limits is when he's out there, if you see him with his family, leave him the fuck alone. It's like, I'm not talking and taking pictures when I'm out with my family because I'm a dad first. That's my personal life. I'm a parent and a husband before I am Brock Lesnar, the entertainer, in a nutshell is what he said. So I thought it was cool that and these are 4 people that I, from a wrestling standpoint, Reigns and Brock are 2 of my all-time favorites. I have the utmost respect for both of them, what they've done in the business. And J. Cole, Jay-Z, same thing. Jay-Z's, I grew up on Jay-Z, and J. Cole's my age. And I've been a fan of his ever since, even before he was signed to Rock Nation, when he was underground putting out Friday Night Lights, a warm-up. And I've always we're the same age, have a lot of similar, experiences growing up. So I've really always connected with his music. Forest Hill Drive's one of my all-time favorite albums. And The Fall Off, I really like, too, a lot of stuff he talked about, how The Fall Off is essentially the sequel to Forest Hills Drive in a way. He made Forest Hills, and this project he had been working on ever since then. And as he's working on it, he would kind of go on a run, get in a zone, and he'd create another album. And then you have, All Eyes on Me, or For Your Eyes Only. Then he's back to The Fall Off. He's working on that, and then boom, goes on another run. Then you get KOD, same thing. Then you get the Off Season. Then you get Might Delete Later. So he fucking created 4 albums as almost practice, as just songs that weren't going to go on this. It just sounded like something else while he was working on this double album that I think is absolutely phenomenal. So it was just cool to see 4 people that in pro wrestling, hip hop, music, that I really look to for my favorites in both of those arenas, all have interviews and all kind of speak to this same thing. So something else that came out this week, Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2, Episode 1. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about this episode in depth. Real quick, Rotten Tomatoes gave this episode, or this season, 95%. It's only 1 episode so far, but that checks out. I'm down with that rating. I thought this was phenomenal. We're going to talk about where this takes place. And I know that everyone hasn't seen this episode yet, so I'm going to give you a quick little breakdown as to what you need to know, or what you need to remember from the first season before you hop into this season. So if you don't feel like going back and watching the entire first season, I'm going to give you a little breakdown of the most important things. But before that, when does this take place? When does season 2 take place? So here's what we know so far. We know season 1 took place after Deadpool and Wolverine, after Agatha All Along. Season 2 happens after Captain America Brave New World, after Thunderbolts, and after the Fantastic Four First Steps. There's about 6 months between these seasons. So those movies all took place between those 6 months. So I'm assuming that means Mayor Fisk, or Fisk was mayor during those movies. And the Thunderbolts, the Void attacking New York, happened in between these 2 seasons. So I don't know if we'll see any impact or any reference to that. It seems odd that all those events happened and no one's talking about, one or the other. Like, how is that not mentioned in Thunderbolts? Fisk being mayor. How was the AT or the AVTF not seen in Thunderbolts? So, and with a massive connected universe, there's gonna be some fuckery like this. Now, Wonder Man is now confirmed to have happened after season 2 of Daredevil. Spider-Man Brand New Day is set after season 2. And this hasn't been confirmed, but I would assume since The Punisher, his one-off, is going to be released after season 2, I believe it takes place after season 2. So let me bring you up to speed with what happened, what you need to remember from season 1 of Daredevil. So here we go. If you don't feel like watching first season of Daredevil Born Again, before you hop into season 2, if you've not watched the first episode yet, this is for you. Here's what you need to know. Bullseye kills Foggy on Vanessa's orders. They're trying to stop the abuse of that free port being outed in court. They're abusing this free port, bringing in all kinds of shit, weapons, all that bullshit. And Foggy knows that that's a free port, so they can't use that. So he's about to bring this shit up in court. Vanessa's like, fuck that. Bullseye, kill that motherfucker. He does. Daredevil Bullseye, they have a pretty cool fight. And Matt throws Bullseye off the top of the roof, attempting to off him, but he survives. Matt moves on. He's retired from being Daredevil. Karen disappears. Some depressed failed artists. Again, I mean, it's just fucking a familiar story, right? Someone doesn't get into art school. They go out and become Hitler. This dude, I don't know what his issue was, but he then becomes Muse, goes on a killing spree, paints murals around the city using the victim's blood. Matt's dating a shrink who ends up being the marriage counselor for the Fisks, because Vanessa had a little side piece when her man was out of town. Her side piece, Adam, was tortured by Wilson, then killed by Vanessa. Fisk becomes mayor, makes being a vigilante illegal, forms the AVTF, the Anti-Vigilante Task Force. White Tiger is killed after he wins a case against the police with the help of Matt Murdock. So helps him. He walks free, and then he's killed. Matt becomes Daredevil again. He saves his girl from being attacked by Muse. Muse is actually killed by Heather. Fisk throws a ball. Heather and Matt attend. Bullseye gets out of prison, attempts to kill Fisk, but Matt saves the day by taking a bullet for Fisk. Yes, Matt takes a bullet for Kingpin. Punisher's around. He saves Matt from the AVTF as a favor to Karen. And the season ends with the city under martial law. Fisk enforcing the law with his own personal task force. They have no rules whatsoever. This is what you need to know about the first season. Now you can effectively hop over into season 2 and check out the first episode that dropped this past week. All right. So if you've not seen the first episode, spoiler alert, I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it. Fucking fast forward, go to the next chapter. Born Again, season 2, episode 1, The Northern Star. Karen and Matt working together again. That was cool. Kind of felt like the good old Netflix days. Heather is officially a stupid bitch. She is working for Fisk. She took the job of his, mental health counselor, and she's interrogating the swordsman, and she's also falsifying some information. They're trying to fuck this guy over, and she's down with it. She's got trauma. Oh, my God, the guy tried to kill me. Now I see him everywhere, and now I got to put away all the vigilantes. The new Daredevil suit, peak. all black, kind of like this hat here. It's all black with the red double D's on it. And Daredevil is one thing I really like about this episode is we get Daredevil being Daredevil right off the bat. You know, the I don't. It's hard to even say this is a critique of the first season, but one of the things I wasn't my favorite about the first season was the fact that it took so long for us to actually see Daredevil after that amazing fight in the first episode. So here, now it's just the first episode, so hopefully we get to see more of him. It seems like that. It's not a I'm retired as Daredevil thing again, which we've seen so many times. So that was cool. The AVTF, these motherfuckers, dude, there's some assholes. There's some shit going on. It's why Matt needs a team, and it's why it seems like that's happening. Cherry, his boy Cherry, Matt gets attacked at his house, or Cherry's getting attacked. Matt goes to save him. Cherry's having a fucking heart attack, and Matt is concerned about Cherry, and the AVTF start beating Matt's motherfucking ass. And here we go again. Daredevil getting his ass whooped. So why people are like, "Oh, he can't beat Batman, bro." Come on. I'm a big Daredevil guy. I mean, hence the attire, right? But let's be honest, this motherfucker gets his ass whooped all the fucking time. Okay. Cherry's having a heart attack. Matt saves him. And Matt's getting his ass whooped. They rip off his mask. They realize he's Matt Murdock. And as that happens, these dudes get taken out by some fucking knives getting thrown through the window. And the last one gets thrown and it says, "You're welcome," and it has a little bullseye on it. Okay, so that's the episode in a nutshell. There's so much to unpack here. The Northern Star, name of the episode. There's a ship coming in. It starts with this scene where, or it doesn't start, but in the beginning of the episode, Matt basically takes down a cargo ship that's full of weaponry. We get Matthew Lillard's character introduced, Mr. Charles, who so far I'm a big fan of. This episode was just a perfect example of why why I love this show. Everything about it. How they handled Daredevil, phenomenal. The fights, great. The how they handle Fisk, how they introduce Fisk in this episode. The ship is sinking. He gets out of the car. You see him shot from behind. And he wears padding to make himself look bigger because Vinny D's lost a lot of weight. But you see the bald head from the back, the white suit, and these wide-ass shoulder, a motherfucking big back in the wild. We found one. It reminds me of Kingpin in Into the Spider-Verse. Now, he's massive in that. Dude's like, exaggerate, but I'm like, that's the feeling that I get when I see him from behind, big back, big old head. They give him the Kingpin treatment. I mean, this thing is shot. It's shot phenomenally. It's for all you crying about the color grading. I think the color grading was great. I think the look and feel of this season, because that was one thing that they definitely changed from the Netflix series. The Netflix is a lot of reds and yellows, and it's a lot darker. And the aesthetics were great. I loved it. But I also, if you're going to do a new show, right, it's Born Again. You don't want to do exactly what you did before. And they did a good job of changing up the aesthetics enough, but also staying true to that Daredevil feel. What else happens here? BB knows that Fisk is responsible for killing her uncle. BB's leaking information to Karen. They're playing some dirty games here. BB's leaking shit to Karen. Jessica Jones is mentioned. They say Jess, she's getting some info, so I'd assume she's showing up pretty soon. Let's talk about Bullseye, Poindexter. Bullseye saves Matt. Why? Well, Bullseye is a mass vigilante. Bullseye tried to kill Fisk. Matt gets in the way. Bullseye's after Fisk. Fisk wants to get rid of all vigilantes. So is it that crazy for Dex to try to help Matt? Not really. This is going to be another one of those situations where Matt is going to receive help from someone that does not help the way Matt would like him to help. You got Punisher, Frank. These guys go at it all the time with don't kill people, don't do that. What the like? So now you got another guy who ain't afraid to kill, who's a motherfucking savage. What's it gonna take? Is he gonna fully be on Matt's little team? Who knows? He's definitely gonna be on his side, I would imagine. Jessica Jones, when is she coming back? I'd be shocked if we don't see her next episode. But so far, so good. I like how they ended it. Nice little cliffhanger. We all want to know what happens next with Bullseye. There was a clip of episode 2 that was shown on some late night show this week. These guys are all doing late night TV right now. Vinny D, Charlie Cox, all of them. There was a scene from a clip from episode 2 where Kingpin says he delivers this bombshell on TV about Matt Murdock. He says that Matt Murdock, we don't know if he's still alive. He says that. He talks about him saving him, and he calls him a hero. So he doesn't out him as Daredevil. He calls Matt Murdock a hero in this clip while he's delivering this, message on TV. So who knows what that means for episode 2 or the rest of the season. I do know that this show is going to take us through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the next 6 weeks. So there's 8 episodes total. Next week on March 31st, 2 episodes will drop. Shoot the Moon, The Scales, and the Sword. Both drop March 31st next week, next Tuesday. Then on April 7th, the following week, Gloves Off drops. Then it's 1 episode a week till this thing wraps up. April 14th, The Grand Design. April 21st, Requiem. April 28th, The Hateful Darkness. And then the season finale, May 5th, The Southern Cross. All right. That's going to wrap up the season. Will we see Punisher in this? I think so. I really do. I'd be surprised if we don't. If we don't, we will see him right after this. So the Punisher's one shot on Disney Plus is scheduled to be released May 12th. So the following week. Punisher, One Last Kill, it's called. What we know about this so far, here's the premise, according to Wikipedia. Frank Castle tries to live a life without the need for revenge, only to be drawn into an unexpected conflict. Now, we know this. We know that Frank is in Spider-Man Brand New Day. We know that Brand New Day takes place after season 2 of Born Again. We know that Brand New Day is released July 31st. So we have Punisher One Last Kill, May 12th. Part about this premise that says only to be drawn into an unexpected conflict. Could the conflict lead right into Spider-Man Brand New Day? Could Spider-Man be in this? Possibly, maybe. It would be cool. Probably not, but it would be cool. Could Spider-Man be in Daredevil season 2? Same thing. Probably, could be, probably not, would be cool. Will it happen? Probably not. But I do believe that, I don't know what I believe. I know that there's the opportunity there to really connect these characters and create an amazing story down the road. Those of you guys that do read a comic, you know about Devil's Reign. That's been a comic that's been rumored to be a movie in the near future. So how else do you build to a Devil's Reign movie? How else do you do that without connecting these characters through these stories here, these shows, these one-offs, and these movies? So, or who knows? Maybe they're all just being released around the same time. It's just a coincidence and they have nothing to do with each other. That would be a shock for me. But I liked it. What'd y'all think? What'd y'all think of episode 1? Are you as excited as I am for episode 2 and 3 next week? 2 episodes in 1 week? Shit. Down with that. Next up, we are going to get into the motherfucking road to Secret Wars. Secret wars, as we say up here in New England, secret wars. All right, let's talk about where we are so far. So we have the past few weeks. We survived the Civil War. We had Civil War. We had the World Breaker. Us now, though. Actually, let me back up. Before we get into Secret Invasion, let's look at what's happening or what has happened in this Marvel universe so far. Going back to Avengers Disassembled and House of M, Wanda basically disbands the Avengers. She fucks everything up, okay? After that, we get into Civil War. Tony and Steve, they split the entire Avengers, the superhero community, right in half. There's a big old war. Oh, my God. Cap dies. Tony wins. He basically creates the suit of armor around the world, right? The Illuminati, they exile Hulk. He comes back even twice as pissed. He humiliates the Earth's heroes, beats the shit out of a bunch of them. Earth heroes are now left divided into two teams. They hate each other. You got Tony's Mighty Avengers and Luke Cage and his New Avengers. There's two comic lines running with these two stories. I've read a lot of them. We're not doing that here because it would take us fucking 9 years to get to Secret Wars. But what you need to know is these two teams hate each other. Nobody trusts anyone. And you could argue that the Earth is pretty vulnerable right now. We also just found out that Elektra was a Skrull. So that's where we left off last week. We're going to hop in this week. We're going to try to do something a little different this week. So we're going to pull up these, read a comic. I'm going to read a comic, Mike. Great, you're going to read a comic. We're going to read a comic together here. We're going to pull up. We're going to go to New Avengers 32, New Avengers 38, and Secret Invasion 1. I know there was a prologue on there, but we are going to skip over that and hop right into this motherfucker here. New Avengers 32. As you can see, well, let's go back real quick. You got Elektra the Skrull. The New Avengers on this plane. They are going through some turbulence. Shit's all fucked up. And everybody is paranoid as shit right now because they are all accusing, or they're all unsure. One of them was a Skrull, Elektra. And they're like, dude, who else can be a Skrull? So there's some pretty funny dialogue back and forth of everyone here on the plane. Now, there is someone on here that is definitely a Skrull, which we'll find out about later on in the story. But you see they got the body in the back, Elektra, and, Jessica wants to bring the body to Tony Stark. And these guys are like, dude, that's crazy. What the fuck is Tony? Tony's not going to, he's going to arrest us, right? Because, they're on the opposite side. Tony's the law now, right? See right there, she's saying, take it to Stark. They're all like, no. Fucking Luke Cage is pissed. The plane is starting to fucking, it's about to go down. There's some shit going on. Right there, crock-a-boom. They're talking about the people who can fly, get the fuck out of the plane. Plane's going down. Wolverine just throws Jessica out. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. You can fly. Plane crashes. Well, Spidey comes out there and he loads it up with a bunch of web that cushion the blow a little bit. Plane crashes. They all survive. And then Jessica here, Spider-Woman, she snatches up the body of the Skrull. First of all, she fucks up Wolverine because he's telling her not to. She whoops his ass real quick, walks away with the body. Where's she going? Well, we're going to get to that. But first, we're going to hop into New Avengers 38. Now, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are newlyweds. They got a baby. And Luke goes to check on Jessica, and she is gone. Calls her up. She's at the damn Avengers Tower. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? So they are not on the same page. Jessica leaves with the baby because she feels unsafe. Luke is pissed because she joined the ops, she joined the enemies. We're talking about fatherhood on this episode. As a father, what's the right decision if you're Luke? Do you stand up for what you believe in and keep doing what you've been doing, even though you're putting your child and your wife at risk? Or do you approach it a little differently now that, you have a wife and you have a daughter? I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. So he decides not to. Jessica decides, I'm putting my baby's safety first. She bounces. He shows up. They're pretty upset. They're, oh my God, I hate you, stupid bit. Not really, but they're going back and forth. The Avengers kind of find out. So they go out there, and Black Widow wants to arrest this motherfucker. But the others, Carol and Jessica, are like, no. They kind of make an excuse for him. They say that he's contemplating joining the team so that they can let him go. They do. They let him go. They don't know really shit about the Skrulls yet, but Luke kind of spoils that in front of Jessica. And the new Avengers here, they get this they get a little apartment here. Danny Rand hooks them up. And they're all out. They're hiding out. They're on the fucking low. And as you can see, Luke's here by himself and Jessica's with the baby at Avengers Tower. Now, this is the main event. Motherfucking Secret Invasion. There's so much in this. We're going to talk about the Skrull ship crashes into Savage Land. We got both teams of Avengers showing up. You have, what's his name? Duggan reveals himself as a Skrull, blows up the damn sword base. Jarvis is a Skrull as well. One fucking tech virus shuts down all of Tony's shit. They infiltrate the Baxter building. Dude, they dismantle the Avengers, the fucking Earth, in a matter of like minutes. And there's this catchphrase, he loves you, he loves you. They're religious, someone they believe that loves them is happy that they're doing this. He loves, that's what they say when they sacrifice themselves. We're going to see it a lot through here. So, Secret Invasion kicks off issue 1 of 8. This is going to be a fun fucking ride over the next few weeks. Michael Bendis writes this as well. We talked about him last week on Only Comics. All right, let's see. Years ago, these are the Skrulls here. So, in a nutshell, the Skrulls lost their world. They're looking for a new fucking world. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but their people need a place to live, and Earth seems to be a good place for them to live. At least they think so. All right, Tony's here, and he is examining the Skrull Electra. So Jessica brought the Skrull to him. And as you can see, he's here with 2 of the smartest people in the world, right? Reed Richards and good old Hank Pym. That's Sword's base here. There's a red alert. There's a ship inbound. Oh my God, where's it heading? Well, it's heading to motherfucking Savage Land. So Tony is asking the Avengers to assemble. Spider-Woman's the only one there. Jarvis is there. The new Avengers, or the Secret Avengers as we're calling them, they got a little hideout. They also know about the Skrull ship, so somebody calls Luke to tell him about it. Believe it was Jessica. And they come up with this plan to show up and steal a fucking Quinjet. This is some cool shit. They show up, the helicarrier, it's the Quinjet's ready. It's ready for Tony and his people. The new Avengers, the Secret Avengers show up. You got Danny Rand there. You got Luke Cage. You got Echo, you got Spidey, you got Ronin, you got Cloak, and you got Wolvie. And Spider-Man shoots some web up in Black Widow's face. Ronin hits her with some nunchucks and knocks that chick out. They steal the fucking Quinjet and they head out to Savage Land. That was a cool little part. 3.5 minutes later, Tony and his squad show up and they're like, what the fuck? The Secret Avengers mentioned, well, you know he can just take over this ship, right? Well, not anymore because what's his name here? Not Rand, but it looks like Hawkeye or Ronin took apart the motherboard, but he still follows them to Savage Land. The Mighty Avengers consists of Iron Man, Wonder Man, Sentry, and Ms. Marvel. That's a fucking OP team right there. Think about that shit. Iron Man's the weakest one here. Wonder Man, who is an absolute machine. Ms. Marvel, this is Carol Danvers, is damn near Superman. And then Sentry, another damn near Superman on one team. It's a hell of a fucking squad right there. They get to the Savage Land. They get attacked by a dinosaur. Why the fuck not? Well, another dinosaur is attacking that one. They show up. They find the crashed ship here. Sealed tight so Logan can't smell them. And Iron Man shows up with his crew, tells him to step away. You're under arrest. Iron Man loved the fucking, you're under arrest. Look at this squad here, though. You got on the left, Spidey, Danny Rand, Iron Fist, Wolverine, Ronin, Luke Cage, and Echo. Pretty solid squad. But then on the other side, you got Spider-Woman, Wonder Man, Sentry, fucking, is that Hercules or Arrows? One of those motherfuckers. Black Widow, Iron Man, and Ms. Marvel. I don't think that the new Avengers would even stand a chance against this crew. I really don't. As you can see here in the bottom, as they're about to fight, a lot of shit happens. So you got Duggan over here. He's on Sword's base. He fucking blows that shit up. And as he says, he loves you. You see Jarvis. What's Jarvis doing? Jarvis got some weird fucking look in his eye. What's that bitch doing? Well, they blow up Sword's base. And right here, Jarvis, he's got some shit in his hand. He clicks a button and he says, he loves you. Alien virus detected. He infects all of Stark's tech, all this shit he built after Civil War, all this stuff he built when he won and he got his plan and I'm going to protect the world and I'm going to do all this shit and have all these Avengers crews in all 50 states. He does that and then it gets undone with the click of a button by Jarvis, who we learn now is a Skrull. Tony's having a fucking seizure over here. Maria Hill, she's all up to the helicarrier. The helicarrier's falling out of the sky. Shit is getting fucked up in a matter of minutes. Look at this. Stark's main plant, alien virus there. Stark Enterprises in Westchester, alien virus there. Stark Satellite, alien virus there. His launch facility in New York, alien virus there. His shit is fucked up. The raft, they infiltrates the raft and starts letting all these people out. Look at some of these names here. Shockwave, Victor Von Doom, the Armadillo, Mandrill, Molecule Man. All these people were locked up in the raft. Now they're out. The Cube, alien virus there. Fucking Marvel Boy gets released. All these other people are fighting. They're trying to kill each other. Dude, shit is hitting the fan. Thunderbolt's Mountain. You got Norman Osborn and his little crew here. That shit gets blown up. This whole crew shows up. Now here we are, Manhattan. We're at the Baxter Building. These guys are getting a tour. Notice this little fella down in the bottom here turns into Sue. He's a Skrull. Gets past security, walks right past the family. She ain't talking to nobody. Walks right into this lab, the negative zone viewer. And what does she do? Breach the negative zone. Says he loves you. Jumps into that shit. And literally opens up a hole into the negative zone at the Baxter Building. Going back to the Savage Land here. Tony's all fucked up. Everyone's like, oh my God, what's happening? They open up the ship, or the ship opens up. Look at these 70s old school looking motherfuckers. You got Cap back in the day, old Vision. I mean, Luke Cage with a damn fro and a yellow open shirt, the chest showing. Old school Thor. You got Phoenix there, Iron Man with his fucking Mark IV. All these dudes looking like, who the fuck are you? Well, who the fuck are you, bitch? Some of them are Skrulls, some of them might not be. We have no fucking idea. As you can see, as Sword blew up, these guys are out in space in these bubbles, barely surviving. Now we're at the Stark lab. We got Hank and Reed. They're working on the Skrull, trying to figure out why they were undetectable. Reed's like, I think I figured it out. Do you know what the Skrulls did? They took, and then dude's like, yeah, I actually do. Pulls a gun out on him, blasts Reed. He even loves you as he turns into a Skrull. So Hank's a Skrull. Everybody's a Skrull. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is a great fucking comic run. And I hope that y'all enjoyed as much as I did, as much as I'm going to again. And you'll understand, if you don't already, why that show, Secret Invasion, pissed me off so much. What's funny thing is Tony literally sacrificed everything he stood for in Civil War because he thought he could build the system to keep the world safe. He thought he was right. And in this last issue, a single virus takes down his entire fucking network, which seemed like minutes. Skrull Jarvis infects his tech, opens up all the prisons. Now, so does this prove that Cap was right about the dangers of putting all of the world's security in one person's hands, Tony Stark? I think so. I think it means he was right. This is kickoff to a great, Jessica's choice. Was Jessica right to leave Luke and take the baby to Tony Stark? I mean, as a parent, I think so. As fucking as wrong as Tony was, I think so. It's kind of like what we talked about earlier. When you are a parent, well, I said from a father's standpoint, that's your most important job. And part of that job is to protect your children. Like Alan Ritchson beating up his neighbor because his neighbor's fucking with him and his kids. Well, Jessica Jones running off to Tony, not like that, but running off to Tony to protect her daughter from all the shit that was going on. So, great issue, great opening to a great story. That was this past week. What do we have up next week, you ask? We have, this is going to be easy. We have Secret Invasion #2. So we're going to hop right into the next issue. New Avengers 41. This shows the Savage Land battle from Spider-Man's point of view. Episode 3, issue 3 of Secret Invasion, and issue 4 of Secret Invasion. So next week, we got 3 books, 3 issues from Secret Invasion, 1 New Avengers, and that will put us at the halfway point of this amazing story. So only thing left to do right now is for me to respond. Let's check out some of our comments from last week. Read a comment. I'm going to read your motherfucking comments. Let's see what we got. Appreciate everybody. If you've been with us this whole time, drop a motherfucking follow if you haven't already. And if you have, well, thanks. Like this and drop us some comments. I mentioned earlier in the intro the whole Drewski thing, dressing up as Erica Kirk. I thought the shit was funny. I don't know what people got all, well, if I did blackface. Well, first of all, he did a skit dressing up as you. He didn't do like a racial, I'm going to do whiteface to make fun of white people. He made fun of this one bitch. All right, let's see. All right, last week's comment. We had Pretty good viewership last week, too. This is also on Spotify now as well. I don't know why I'm telling you while you're fucking watching it. All right, DJ Super Soldier said, I loved World War Hulk. Great story and artwork is fantastic. I want to purchase the physical now. Yeah, dude, I'll see if I can get it. I know I said that about another book recently, and I forgot what the fuck it was. So whoever it was, if you remind me, I will do my best. OG Dirte said, happy birthday to the icon Sting. And Mike, you don't watch AEW, but WWE gave me the laughing emoji. AWOB OG. And you're right. It's not a might. I definitely don't fucking watch AEW. Greg Thornton says, it got my tingles going. No Diddy. Well, I don't know what got your tingles. Maybe it was the story. Maybe it was the trailer from last. I think you're talking about the trailer from last week. Okay. LB watches. LB says, AWOB times 3. This is my first mic check. I thought this was just a TikTok thing. OCUs assemble. Only Comics Unks. Yes, the Only Comics Unks have assembled, and we are here every motherfucking week on mic check. Hulk King Hicks says, Hulk versus Sentry. My God, that was a phenomenal comic fight. It'd be something that would be a beauty on screen. It really would be. Christian Schuler says, you don't know what you're talking about. Bitch, fuck you. I do know what the fuck I'm talking about. You might not agree with my opinions about what I'm talking about, but I do know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I tend not to bullshit. I tend to just shoot you straight. So, and then DJ Super Soldier says, hey, yo, my bro Mike, who the fuck is this guy? Yeah, I don't know who the fuck this Christian Schuler fella is, but he can fuck the fuck off if he wants to. Or if he doesn't, he should do that as well. Here's the thing. Pretty simple. If you don't like the shit I talk about, don't fucking watch me talk about shit. See, simple concept, right? I don't like country music. It's not my thing. I don't go shit on it. I don't go make fun of it. I don't go on country videos and leave comments. I just leave it the fuck alone. If you don't like what the fuck I say, just don't fucking watch me say shit. It's pretty fucking simple. If you do, keep showing up and keep watching me say shit. I appreciate every fucking person that watches a podcast, a video, a short. I appreciate everybody that drops a like, a comment, a follow. I really do. I'm going to do this shit regardless because I have fun doing it. I'm just glad that there's some of you that also have fun when I do this. So appreciate y'all checking out Mic Check. Appreciate you guys being followers of Only Comics. And we will see you next motherfucking week right here on Mic Check. Peace.